When you say these guys, who do you mean? Out of interest.
It starts with A-R-A-B.
Yeah. Okay.
And all their belongings.
Hmm.
Aramaic from the church. Smaller, سلخة.
So how old is this Bible? You said
This Bible is 350 years old
350.
from our church. It's in Syriac Aramaic language. As you see, they used to have candles to read, so the drops of the candles still here in the book.
Yeah.
And that's from our Maronite church here. Okay? So this is called Evangelion. Yashar, كل زمان. Evangelion. I will read for you something in Aramaic, Jesus language, how it sounds. وكاد سليك يشوع لسفنتو سليكو عميه تلميداو وهو زوعو رابو بيامو ايكو دلفو تتكاسي من جيلي هو دين يشوع دميخبو وكاريفو تلميداو اعيروه ومرين له موران فاسون اوف دينان امار الهون يشوع المونو تحلتونين اتون زعورد هيمونوتو يمينة That's how the language sounds, and this Syriac we still pray it in Maronite church, like we say Kadishat Aloho Kadishat Hailtono Kadishat Lomo Yuto Etraham Alain. This is Aramaic. We say smaller v'yemina. So we have history, we have heritage, we have folklore, we have culture, we have civilization. Our forefathers left it for us to keep it, not to forget it, not to throw it away. It's so beautiful. If people without language and heritage and history, it's a dead people. The Arabs have the history, proud of it. The Jews has history, they're proud of it. The French, the English, the Italian, whoever it is. And we are Aramaic, Syriac, Maronite people, also have heritage and history and language and identity and belong of 6,000 years of civilization in this region. Why we should not preserve it and go and say we are Arabs? We have nothing to do with Arabs. The Arabs, we are respectful. The Arabs are good for their own culture. They can be proud of it. But we have also ours. And we should be proud of it. And once you're proud of it, they will respect you better. That's it.
Thanks.
What's the title?
It says the Maronites with special regard to the political development since 1860. Okay. Jerusalem, June 24th, 1942.
Lebanon didn't exist. Israel didn't exist back then. What's written there? Who are the Maronites?
The Maronites are the direct descendants of the Syrian Aramaic population who inhabited Syria at the time of the Muslim conquest in the 7th century.
Their name derived
from San Marero, a Syrian monk who lived about, what century?
350.
Yeah. His disciples and adherents settled in the plain of the Orontes, but in the course of the Muslim conquest, they had to withdraw to the upper valleys of the Lebanon, which were all but inaccessible. According to authoritative sources, their bishopric of Eden dates back to the 8th century. In these high valleys, they could preserve their religious and national peculiarity. As to the language, however, they have been absorbed by the Arab since the 14th or 15th century. Only part of their liturgy has remained Aramaic.
Yeah. And that's page number 21, Maronite Jewish Zionism. Written, that's a patriarch speech in 1937, in the spring of 1937, before departure to Beirut. The patriarch spent a short time in Beirut and visited the synagogue. The Jews had built a triumphal arch and Maccabee guard of honor accompanied the guest. Mr. Farhi, the president of the Jewish community, expressed their thanks, and the patriarch answered, "The Jews are not only our ancestors, but also our brethren. We are of the same origin. We speak almost same language. Our fathers are your fathers. We are proud to be the sons of the same race. We owe everything to Judaism. Our doctrines are derived from your law. We sincerely desire that productive and enduring relation be established between us and the Jews in general and Zionists in particular. We want to help one another, and we wish wholeheartedly that God may save the Jews from persecutions which they are suffering and in an unjust and inhuman way, both in Germany and Palestine. And to continue, today I want to assure you, children of Israel who are expelled from Germany and not friendly received by the Arabs of Palestine, that there is room for us and for you in the Lebanon. It is already a long time that His Beatitude has been considering such a scheme. By His orders, we have tried to influence the authorities to permit the Jews to enter the Lebanon. That's what we did when the Jews were in need of someone to stand with them against the barbaric Nazi German who tried to annihilate them. And it's exactly the same thing we expect from the Jews when we were in a danger of annihilation by the Islamic and Arab world in the 80s and 70s and 90s. And that IDF was the only army to come and intervene in Lebanon, also for their own interest, of course, but also at the same time, they saved us from annihilation. Let's not forget that too. Because that was very brutal war against us in Lebanon as a Maronite people. So, last thing before we go to the border, look at this document. This is the United Nations document, 1947. Okay? Ad hoc Committee on the Palestinian Question, 25 September, 25 November 1947. It is translated from French, Maronite Orthodoxy of Beirut, 5 August 1947, Beirut, to Justice Sandrom, Chairman UNSCOP, Geneva, Switzerland. Who wrote that? Our Archbishop of Beirut. 3-page document recommendation. At the end of them, major reasons of social, humanitarian, and religious nature require the creation in these two countries of two homelands for minorities, a Christian home in the Lebanon, as there has always been a Jewish home in Palestine. These two centers, connected with each other geographically and supporting and assisting each other economically, will form the necessary bridge between West and East from the viewpoint of culture and civilization. The neighboring region between these two nations will contribute to the maintenance of peace in the Near East, which is so divided by rivalries, and will lessen the persecution of minorities, which will always find refuge in these two countries. This is the opinion of the Lebanese whom I represent. It is the opinion of the people, of these people whom your committee of inquiry was not able to hear. The Lebanon demands freedom for the Jew in Palestine as it desires its own freedom and independence. I have the honor to be, etc., Ignatius Mubarak, the Maronite Archbishop of Beirut. That's what we are for, my friends.